I mean, I guess nothing is too weird at this point. But, this is remarkable confluence of events, right? Here's the Democrats today announcing that they raised more than $70 million for the Biden and Harris campaign during the DNC. They see their convention as having been essentially flawless, everything they wanted from it, even though it was the first ever virtual convention. For the first time today, the two halves of the ticket, Biden and Harris started doing their first joint interviews. They are proceeding. And meanwhile, at the exact same time, the president and the White House are having to pretend once again, the president definitely barely knows the newly arrested guy. Definitely isn't somebody who ran his campaign and then served as his senior advisor for months in the White House. I mean, even right now, as their opponent is accepting the nomination after this triumphant convention, we have just chaos ahead in terms of the planning for the RNC next week. Here's the president having to do that whole song and dance again. Oh, yeah, I barely know the guy.
I haven't been dealing with him for a long period of time, as most of the people in this room know. He was involved in our campaign. He worked for Goldman Sachs. He worked for a lot of companies, but he was involved likewise in our campaign and for a small part of the administration very early on. I haven't been dealing with him at all. I haven't dealt with him at all over years now.
When the president's lawyer was arrested, the president said Michael Cohen was a PR person who did small legal work, very small legal work. When the president's campaign chairman was arrested, Paul Manafort, the president said, quote, I didn't know Manafort well. He wasn't with the campaign long. He was with the campaign, as you know, for a very short period of time. When Lev and Igor were arrested back in October, remember that? And all those pictures emerged of all the different times that Lev and Igor, of all people, had been with the president. Remember what happened? What he said when they got arrested? The president said about his friends Lev and Igor, quote, I don't know those gentlemen. Why are you in all these pictures with them then? When the president's national security advisor pled guilty to felony charges. Do you remember the Trump White House, what they said about Mike Flynn when he got charged? They put out a statement saying that Michael Flynn was, quote, a former Obama administration official who did some volunteer work for the campaign. He was national security advisor. When Roger Stone was arrested for things he did and things he lied about during the presidential campaign, the president tried the same thing. He said, now, Roger didn't work for me in the campaign. Roger Stone didn't work on the campaign, except way, way at the beginning, long before anything we're talking about here. This is how loyalty works. The loyalty demands are infinite. The loyalty reciprocity is, what? You're breaking up. I can't hear. Could you call me back? Now the president, as he prepares to accept the renomination of his party for president, as the Biden and Harris campaign takes off like a rocket, now the president saying his newly arrested campaign chairman is some random guy who worked for Goldman Sachs, who Trump barely remembers him. Did he work at the White House? Who knows? Nobody can remember that far back. Steve Bannon has pled not guilty to these felony charges. We are now, interestingly, starting to see headlines from him, sourced to him, bragging about how he very much knows the president and is still in contact with the president. Steve Bannon is thought to be facing a considerable sentence if he is convicted here. I mean, theoretically, based on the theoretical maximum sentence for these crimes, it's decades in prison. Realistically, it's more like 6 to 9 years that he's facing. If he's under pressure from prosecutors to help them with other crimes he knows about, if he's under pressure from prosecutors to become a cooperating witness like he was in the Roger Stone trial, in order to potentially earn himself lenience on the multiple felony charges he is facing himself, well, then it's kind of more dramatic than usual for the president to be denying that he couldn't, pick Steve Bannon out of a lineup, while Steve Bannon is out there saying, oh, yes, you could. We've been talking, including recently. So the prospect that the president has once again to manage somebody who will be under serious federal criminal pressure themselves, thinking about their own life and their own mortality and weighing whether or not to potentially flip on the president. The fact that he is having to consider that again because of all the people around him who have been arrested and charged and pled guilty to felonies since he has been in prison. He is having to deal with that again now as he heads into his convention. I mean, that's just not your normal background noise while the nominating conventions are happening. I mean, if you are running against an incumbent president, the incumbent president doesn't usually do you the favor of having his third straight campaign chief arrested on the day the opposition party formally picks its nominee.